Welcome to the newest episode in a Legendarium series about Owen Glendower's Welsh Rebellion. In part 1, we talked about how Glendower started the uprising against English rule in Wales and won his first great victory. In part 2, we will talk about how he used royal marriages and foreign alliances to drive the English from his home country completely. After his crushing victory at Pilith, Owen Glendower captured a kinsman of King Henry IV of England named Edmund Mortimer. Because Mortimer was a possible rival to Henry's throne, Henry IV refused to ransom his return. So Mortimer married Owen Glendower's daughter, Catherine. And this was a sign that Glendower intended to claim the throne of both an independent Wales and perhaps seek the crown of England. Soon after the marriage, Owen indeed crowned himself the Prince of Wales. He also allied with the Percy family in England, which now sought to overthrow Henry IV in revenge for his refusal to ransom Edmund Mortimer. While the Percy family rose up against Henry IV in England, Glendower seized more and more towns in Wales, including Carmarthen, Usk, Caerleon, and Newport. Meanwhile, the Percy army headed south to meet up with Glendower at the Welsh border. However, King Henry IV moved with stunning speed and crushed the Percy army at the Battle of Shrewsbury in 1403, before Glendower could arrive on the battlefield. And to see my video on the rebel leader Henry Percy, follow the link in the description. Despite this disaster, Glendower remained in control of the Welsh countryside. Whenever the English ventured outside their castles, they would come under attack by Welsh rebels. Yet to become the Prince of all Wales, Glendower would have to take those English castles. But how could Glendower's lightly armed peasant rebels take the heavily fortified English castles? By any means necessary. At Carnarvon Castle, a vast mob surrounded the walls and shouted out all of the horrible punishments they would inflict upon the English if they dared to resist. This frightened the garrison so much that they surrendered rather than face slaughter. At Caerphilly Castle, the Welsh formed a human pyramid that allowed some of their men to climb up and over the walls. And in one of the boldest moves, a party of Welshmen snuck into a castle by pretending to be carpenters, while the English were at Good Friday services. Once inside, the Welsh slaughtered the English soldiers in the pews. All the while, Owen Glendower started acting more and more like a king rather than a rebel. He sent emissaries to the Scottish and French, seeking aid for a final campaign against the strongest English fort of all, Harlech Castle. The French sent him 2,500 men and several trebuchet crews. The trebuchet was probably the strongest weapon of medieval Europe. It took 5 men to operate, weighed 6,000 pounds, and slung stones with hemp rope. Extra weights on the undercarriage of the trebuchet gave the arm extra throwing force. With these new weapons, Glendower besieged Harlech while the French fleet blockaded their supply routes. Hammering the curtain walls did little good, so Glendower threw other things. He hurled bags of quicklime over the walls to burn the English soldiers alive. He flung rotten animal corpses inside to spread disease among the garrison, and if he captured any Englishmen outside the castle, he cut off their heads and flung them over the walls to demoralize the garrison even more. The garrison held out for 3 months until disease and starvation killed all but 20 of the soldiers off, and the survivors surrendered to Glendower. The English were so stunned by Glendower's achievements that they believed he possessed magical powers, like reading the prophecies of Merlin and summoning spirits from the underworld. The next year, in 1405, Glendower declared Wales to be free from English rule. In the months that followed, Glendower summoned a Welsh parliament, appointed Welshmen to church offices within his kingdom, and exchanged ambassadors with foreign powers. All the while, he continued raiding deep into western England. It looked as if Glendower had won Welsh freedom. But could he keep it? We will find out in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Legendarium. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.